Now going to question 19. Here, the prompt is telling us that this is a grammar question. And the kind of writing that we're going to see here is something that we refer to as just simply stylistic or poetic writing. And it's a style that you want to get used to. From afar, this fiber artist's portraits look like paintings, their depictions of human faces, bodies, and clothing so intricate that it seems only a fine brush could have rendered them. When viewed up close, however, the portraits reveal themselves to be quilts, the stitching barely visible among the thousands of pieces of printed, micro-cut fabric. So, what makes it so stylistic here? It's the stylistic deletion of words. And the rule regarding missing words is that if we can still understand what's going on without the words being there, then it's usually okay to get rid of the words. So here we're seeing their depictions so intricate that only a fine brush could have rendered them. So their depictions so intricate. And in the next sentence, we see the stitching barely visible. So you just want to be used to that style. It comes up once in a while. And sort of understanding that will allow you to make a good decision about the part around it. So when viewed up close, the portraits reveal themselves to be quilts, the stitching barely visible among the thousands of pieces of printed micro-cut fabric. So the answer is going to be B. And just looking at the grammar of this sentence, this is the independent clause. Every sentence needs one independent clause to be okay. So the portraits reveal themselves to be quilts. That's the main nucleus of the sentence. This part in purple here is a modifier. This part in orange is another modifier. And this part in red here, starting right here, is another modifier. So it's strange writing, but at the same time, if this red part were allowed to be its own clause, in other words, if the writer had given it a subject and verb, for instance, the stitching was barely visible. The word was is a verb, and having a subject and a verb makes it a clause. If it were a clause, now it has to follow more rules of grammar. If something's a modifier, you can pretty much just tack it onto the sentence with a comma and not have to worry. If there are clauses, you have to follow more well-defined rules. So even though it's awkward writing, it kind of frees the writer up to just kind of put it there without having to worry so much about whether or not it follows a lot of grammar rules. So like I said, the answer here is B.